Okay, so the reason I stopped the video and start a new video is because I want to give myself a bit of time, like just like about minutes, kind of took about minutes of break to just let myself to able to breathe and should also because I pretty much just woke up like about half an hour ago and just kind of like rushed myself to make this video. Really didn't get a chance to even, like fold my blanket, like or like even change my kind of like in a way get ready, like fully awake and ready and things like that. So I felt like I'm already beginning this video, so just that's why I made that pause to give myself a bit of time. Okay, anyway, continue where I left off. So before I begin the update, I'm gonna read my situations, highlights, concise and prioritize. This is from my PTTS exclusive first magazine, so this content is in there, and it just more or less I just felt that I could have, kind of like in a way, because it is my situation. Pretty much this content is kind of like would consider as like the main content. Kind of like want to have like an idea or have some sort of acknowledgement about my situation, my life. Currently my situation is according to what's going on in my life and what's happening in my life and things like that. So like felt like this is the main content, and things like that. So more or less I felt, could have maybe add a few more things, make it more I don't know, like just stress how the pain that I'm dealing with and things like that, and felt more or less there these thoughts and things like that. Anyway, well, I don't know, like would I able have enough time? Like I felt like right now I'm able to post this content up as one of the magazine pages for the PTTS exclusive, for my PTTS exclusive first magazine, would consider as like already very tough, and things like that. So I felt like if I don't add those few extra things that I want to add to it, then I felt that's still, in a way, I felt that I'm still already achieving something very tough and things like that. So I felt I don't need to add those few extra things that I felt could maybe improve the content and things like that. So I felt like able to post that what I have right now is already considered as achieving very tough, something that is very tough and things like that. So I'm gonna read this content right now. Alright, so my situation highlight, concise and prioritize. Read my most profound solutions for my most profound solution on my situation. Also read my private investigation cases, Renaissance remembering for information on the high priority of fears in my life. I need all the help I could get. Any help will be appreciated. This means it is high priority that the world notice me, including PTTS. So my goal is to reach out to the world for help. I have done all of my works by myself. My main equipment at my house is my laptop. At the Mesa College campus is the computer lab computer from 2017 to 2019. Basically, the years is I put it in parentheses. So, like, technically I don't have to read out the things in the parentheses, but right now I'm just reading out those years is in the parentheses. At the North Claremont Branch Library is Adult Computer number 1 from 2020 to current 2026. This means I have a lot of works I need to complete. Also, I'm working by myself with very limited equipment, so I have no choice but to go with the following PTTS agenda: independent company, unofficial, homemade, and self-marketing. Okay, the following is in parentheses. I have made that PTTS agenda into keywords for better understanding. Okay, so that's where the parentheses end. What I'm currently doing is I'm emphasizing on self-marketing because I'm reading out to the world, because I'm reaching out to the world for help. The same with PTTS exclusive first magazine, because one of the goals in that magazine is I want the world to notice me, including PTTS. So I have done a lot of self-marketing. Also, it have high priorities. But I have no feedback on my PTTS blog for 9 years. This no feedback could argue it as the world didn't notice me, including PTTS, because I don't have marketing, including self-marketing. That is why the world didn't notice me, including PTTS. Why I keep working on PTTS when I have no feedback on my PTTS blog for 9 years? My answer: I have to deny what I did wrong for the last 9 years to have no feedback. Also, I have to deny that keep working on PTTS is not the solution, because I'm going to repeat what I did wrong for the last 9 years. Because if I don't have those two denials, denial 1 and denial 2, then I have to give up on everything in my life and start a new life. Looking at that Q&A, okay, I'm just gonna pause for a second. For people who are not familiar with the abbreviation Q&A, basically it's just abbreviate for question and answer, so Q&A. Okay, looking at that Q&A, that is why I'm writing about my situations. It is equivalent to keep working on PTTS. Back to my situation. I'm not funded by anyone in any companies, and I don't have supports from anyone in any companies because I have no feedback and no income on my PTTS block for 9 years. I don't have internet connections at my house because my mother and my older sister doesn't give me the password to the Wi-Fi connections, so I have to go to San Diego Mesa College Computer Lab to post up my PTTS block. After 2019, I go to the public library, North Claremont Branch Library, to post up my PTTS block. I would argue that to not have so much criticism from my family and people I know, I'm being forced to point out that I'm a nobody, nothing, and worthless person that doesn't deserve to live in San Diego. This is the only way for me to defend myself and get on my knee and cry, because it is very devastating for my family and people I know to keep attacking me with criticism. Just the thought that I have trophies and a war and I got elected as club president, fill in the blank. I have no feedback on my PTTS block. Okay, so in parentheses I have the address of my PTTS block, and that address is tumblr.com/PTTS 2023 for 9 years, and in parentheses 2016 to 2000 to current 2026. Overcoming daily torment. I'm overcoming being forced to commit suicide daily. I'm overcoming being tormented daily. I'm overcoming being forced to get into fight and hate people daily. Overcoming adversities. I'm overcoming the adversities and bad lucks constantly happening to me daily. I would argue I don't want the thieves to break into our house and steal whatever I have left, because I'm pushing myself very hard to go through hard struggles to work on PTTS. In the midst of my struggles, the thieves break into our house and steal whatever I have left. Would argue it as make my hard works as a waste of time. But if I keep worrying about the thieves, going to break into our house, then my situation could get worse. Overcoming accumulated problems is I overcame one argument. That one argument would lead to multiple arguments, like the heads of the Hydra. You chop off one head, two heads grow out of that Hydra. My father, Chong Wan Lam, passed away at 83 years old. Okay, in parentheses, I kind of point out, I wrote, basically in parentheses, I wrote the year he was born, which is 1938, and then the date he died, which is around December 2021. Okay, so that's, okay, I'm gonna continue where I left off. My mother, Sok Im Hui, is 73 years old. She told me the following: she is 73 years old, so she can't take care of me. Also, who is going to take care of me when she passes away? The following is dealing with rent and tax problems. Looking at paying house rent and taxes. Content article. Looking at paying house rent and taxes article. I have paid house rent and taxes from 2000 to 2012. 2015 to 2021. My father is an elderly person, so I think taking care of an elderly person is equivalent to paying taxes. He passed away on December 2021. (2022) to current 2026. I have no feedback and no income on my PTTS block for 9 years. I think posting up my articles is on my PTTS block is equivalent to paying taxes. If I have no income, okay, sorry. I just misread that. If I have income from PTTS, then I would abide by the laws and pay taxes. But first things first, I need to have feedback first, then worry about having income later. I made some emergency fundraising for emergency living expenses or emergency funds. Let me know if you want to look at my fundraising, because I have record of those fundraising. Okay, so pretty much I kind of left myself a note on the bottom that I could, want to add a few more things to my situation to make it kind of like in a way, you know, to stress the pain in my life and things like that. So kind of get my word out there about my situation so that people would acknowledge it and things like that. So kind of left myself a few notes on the bottom, like I'm saying, you know, if I could just post out whatever, like what I have right now, I felt like I'm achieving a very tough struggle and things like that. So I don't really have to, you know, like add those few things like on the note I'm having right now, like on the bottom of this and things like that. Okay, so pretty much that is my situation. And okay, so back to Bastard Retribution, Paradox Incognito, fourth update. Pretty much basically it's just I felt, you know, reading that my situation, that article, like I felt that I have already very like stress slash emphasize the pains in my life and things like that. And to go further, I felt it just would sound really ridiculous and hard to believe and things like that, and or even controversial and everything. So kind of like in a way, so pretty much it's just the more controversial events is in my life that I think that talking about it could lead to, you know, creating that could become very controversial and things like that. And so pretty much those events is for now, you know, I'm the only way that I could stop it from keep bothering me and things like that is to write Bastard Retribution, Paradox Incognitos. And I don't know, just so far I felt that, you know, just each time, you know, like I'm doing the best I can, you know, and I felt that it's just never good enough. That's just like, and it's supposed to be not about good enough or not, you know, it's supposed to be the very controversial events that I'm having that could lead to, you know, it's just really upsetting thinking about it. It's not about good enough or not. It's just about a very controversial events in my life. You know, it's like, so it's just like, it's really upsetting, you know, thinking about it and things like that. It's like, especially when I'm being rushed it, and it's like, God, I just wanted to, you know, shout out. It's never was about good enough or not, you know, just like, so it was still these times like I felt like I'm being rushed it to have to, you know, constantly writing paradox income, like Bastard Retribution, paradox income. There was these moments as I felt like I was about to shout out that it's not about good enough or not. It's just very controversial events in my life that could lead to controversies and things like that. And anyway, basically I just want to point that out, like it's supposed to be my last chance to defend myself and things like that, and felt that not having that consideration is upsetting. Sort of like in a way, like where is the communication skill and living together and sharing it? It's just like I felt in general, like how could anyone believe, how could the whole neighborhood, where I'm living, could be sunk this low? It's like in a way, who would believe this? Like doesn't once a person learn how to talk and walk should already developing their communication skill and living together and sharing. It's just very hard for anyone to believe. How could a whole neighborhood sunk this low and things like that? It's like can't give a person a last chance to defend himself. How ridiculous that sound. Anyway, so it's really upsetting thinking about it and things like that. But like in general, all of us have that communication skill and living together and sharing and just so it's very hard to just hard to believe how could this happen, and it's upsetting just thinking about it. Anyway, I don't know, like each day in my daily life, daily activities, just wanted to stress that I am in a lot of pain, and it is the least I could do to myself to help out myself is to ease some of these pain in my life. So each day, that's I felt that that is the least I could do for myself is to ease some a little bit of the pain in my life and things like that. To just and to have forgiveness and accepting, to have acceptance and forgiveness for putting for that I have to live this kind of life. It's like felt like maybe somewhere along the way that if I did something differently, I don't have to live this life where I'm being tormented daily and live a cursed life filled with so much pain and misery and things like that. So just like, so pretty much, each day just like the least I could do, just to ease a little bit of the pain in my life. So just like each day, that's what I wanted to, it's like put my goal on, it's like could ease a little bit of pain in my life. So anyway, I don't know, like I just haven't able to really have, really just ease a little bit of those pain and those upsetting, like the pain and anger in me, to just kind of like calm down a little bit and to just finish up my drawings. I mean, I did have started some drawing, but I did not completed drawings. Just basically just some sketches. Like I felt that could have done better. It's just just to get started. It's just beginning. As I'm continue doing more sketch, it'll become better and things like that. But just the beginning part of it. It's like. Anyway, so I just haven't really eased those pain and anger in me to really just calm myself down to finish up these like do more of these drawings so that could really have an illustration of it so that people could see the pain in my life. Maybe that's the speaking in front of the camcorder and posting up articles on my PTTS blog and the PTTS exclusive first magazine. All of that is not good enough. Maybe the drawing could emphasize so that people would acknowledge my situation and know the pain in my life and things like that. So anyways, currently just like so far I just have this like the drawing of me like just blindfolded and just the head part and just a few other sketches where I don't know, like I just because it's just the beginning drawing. I don't know, like I just feel kind of like I could have done better on the sketches and things like that. So it's just what I'm brainstorming in my head right now. Just so like okay, I haven't really built my muscle like this yet. Just have some muscle, but not really tone it like this yet. So just like I'm just saying, these are just sketches. Like my muscle are like not toned like the sketches and things like that. But I did do like exercise regularly and things like that. Well, it's talking about over months already. Like I'm saying, it's but like cardio exercise I have done for a while already, and it's been ongoing. I do a lot, like mostly cardio to build up stamina, and because I felt like I have a very busy schedule, really need the stamina. So I've been doing cardio exercise regularly and things like that. Like to build up muscle, it just was during my college years and high school years, do more on the building muscle exercise back then, and just haven't really done like so kind of like getting back to that more like more recently, just getting back to the building muscle and things like that. So I'm not like tone like this sketches. This is just a rough sketch, kind of like in a way. My muscle are not toned like this.